What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking again about one of my favorite companies, which is Shopify. So if you watched any of my previous videos on this company, you know that I'm extremely confident in this company. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do, and I've been buying them. I bought shares back at $40 a share back in 2015, and I'm still buying shares of this company now, and I'm still super excited. And one of the reasons why is this huge data advantage that they've got. I think it's excess of 1.5 million merchants that they've got now. They've got all of those merchants, all of their products, all of their marketing data, all of their traffic information, all of their customer information. This massive load of data, which I think is just going to be so important for them in the future. And they've got an article that I came across yesterday, which just shows how they're using that all of that data and using some machine learning already to get the most out of their business and kind of get some more from it. So this article was brought to my attention by Toby Lutke, the CEO of Shopify, who retweeted a member of his team. I believe this person works in kind of machine learning and engineering. If you pop over to this piece, it's basically about how they're using their huge amount of data and their machine learning to judge how they give capital to merchants. So lending capital is another way that they're making money. So basically identifying merchants and entrepreneurs that really need or could do with some support to help their business out and help it grow even faster. And the way they're doing this is it's not traditional, like you have to apply for some lending, you have to show them a business plan, you have to go up through all these clauses and stuff. They use machine learning to basically find out who is ripe for investment, who could really do with this capital. And just in the background, they're running all this data, and they'll reach out to merchants and they'll be able to identify from their sales that they've got sales, but they could really do with an extra injection of cash. And they'll do that. There's no applying, there's none of that stuff. They'll reach out to you and say, we've identified that you could really benefit from this. And that's just running in the background. So I just think that's fantastic. Basically, they're using all of this data already. What I really like to see as well is they're not just doing what other people are doing, i.e. lending money, they're just making it so much better for the consumer. So people are going to be using Shopify Capital rather than going to a bank or other methods of funding. So if we go down here, it mentions in the article that basically it's just fixed. You don't pay back monthly or you're not on a fixed interest. You don't have early repayment fees or late repayment fees. As soon as you take out your loan, you're given a fixed amount that you're going to have to pay back, including the fixed interest. And what's even better than that is that cost comes straight out of your sales directly. It's not coming from anywhere else apart from your sales. So if you're not making any sales, or from what it says here, I believe, I can't remember where it was in here, but if you're not making any sales, you're not paying back. So Shopify is really encouraged to lend to the right people. And once they've lent to those people, really help them out in growing their business. And that's where you pay back their loan, which I think is like really good to see. So why I'm excited about this is not only is it a great feature, it's great for their merchants, it's great for their entrepreneurs, but I just want to have a think or encourage people to think more about this data advantage that they've got. They've got all of the merchants that they sell through, which is increasing by a huge amount every single quarter when they report it. We've got all of their customers, all of their marketing information. They know how well Facebook ads and Google ads and customers of this type and this type of customer, how they're doing, how they purchase, average items per basket. And all of this stuff is one of the things that has made Amazon so great. Yes, it's got great prices and it's got a great marketplace, but Amazon is amazing at finding people and giving them exactly what they want, recommending them the right product. After they've bought a product, getting them to add accessories or putting them into another type of product and recommending that. Amazon is really good at that because they've got so much customer data. They know what people want and they know when people want it. And not only that, they don't just do it on the front side of things, but also in how they predict behaviors. So how they predict in growing trends, in how much stock they'll need, in what brands are taking off. They use all of this data to know what areas they should be going and doing their Amazon own ranges in, or where they should be pumping certain traffic to, or where they should be pushing emails towards. All of this stuff is because they've got a huge amount of data from a huge amount of merchants and a huge amount of customers that are constantly using it. Shopify has all this in the background and people are not speaking about it and not even getting excited about it yet. But this is just kind of one example of they've got all this data there and they're using it. And I think it's really exciting that they're already using this machine learning stuff in the background and using all their data. Just proactively reach out and say, hey, it looks like you could do some help. We'd love to lend you some money on this basis, on a fixed term basis, only pay it back when you make sales. So basically all of the sales that come through, they just take a small percentage out and that's how you pay it back. I just think that's amazing. And there's a note down here as well. I mean, they talk about they can predict a merchant's sales. So if they can get any one of their merchants, here we go. Our model allows us to predict a merchant's minimum sales with 90% accuracy while helping us make more proactive, pre-qualified offers as quickly as possible. So the amount of data they've got in the background here, they're able to predict a merchant's minimum sales with 90% accuracy because they've got all this information in the background. They can see all the past information of this merchant and similar merchants in those industries and all sorts of other data they've got to be able to predict this. Imagine all the other stuff they can predict and already are predicting. People think as a website, so you're going on one website, people don't even know they're on a Shopify website. What people need to start thinking about in the background is that all of these websites are connected. It's basically one massive ecosystem that is Shopify. It is a massive web of all the different websites they've got and all of the merchants. It enables them to start doing stuff that's really, really powerful like this. So if we just go back onto Toby's Twitter, as I mentioned before, but this was actually tweeted by him. And he tweeted a couple of days ago, they've just had blowout earnings. And he's always very... doesn't brag about stuff like that and is never one to push the share price or push numbers in terms of how much money they're making. All he cares about is giving entrepreneurs a chance. So having him post this is something that he's very proud of. The fact that he's retweeted this and he's talking about this, he's proud of this because he knows how important this is for his business. And moreover, he knows how important it is for helping merchants and reducing the barriers to entrepreneurship, which is one of the main things that Shopify wants to do. They can lend money out, they can find out who's doing well, and they can find out who needs the money and address that problem straight away. So, as I said, this is super, super interesting. And I just think this is a little taste of the future for what Shopify is going to be getting into. Like I said, this is a massive web that they've got behind here. They're owning so much of e-commerce. These are not individual websites. Think of it as just one massive Shopify backend that is all connected, and they're going to be able to learn so much from this. I mean, think about some of the stuff they're going to be able to do in the future. They're already saying they can predict sales with 90% accuracy. What does that mean in terms of how they can help merchants out? They've got over 1.5 million stores. They can predict sales. They can probably predict human behavior, when people are going to buy. They can probably predict how people move around the internet and when they're going to buy. They can probably predict how people buy from different resources, whether it be through Twitter or Facebook advertising or Google advertising. They can probably also start predicting how this goes hand in hand with people using physical shops, because don't forget, Shopify also enables you to take payments and sell physical products if you have any pop-up stores. They can link all of this together. Don't just think that when someone's selling a product, that's it. They're linking all of this data together. And Toby Lutke is an engineer and a programmer at heart. This is what he does, this data stuff. This is what he's really interested in. They're already working with this behind the scenes, so just imagine the other amazing stuff they're going to be able to do. And from the last quarter, the last earnings that we've just seen from them, they're growing hand over fist, and it's not just going to be about the revenues they're getting from people paying them. It's not just going to be about the sales. They're going to be this huge data mine, just like Amazon is. And I mean, just think if they start linking all these stores together and if they wanted to make a marketplace out of it, just imagine the stuff they can do with that. Just imagine all this data going into all of the new fulfillment centers that they're setting up. We know that they're really keen on getting fulfillment centers done because they can make money of it. But most importantly, as someone who sells online myself, it is a massive pain having to find warehouses, whether to store your stuff, deal with returns, deal with shipping. They're already going straight into that. And one of the reasons Amazon FBA, their fulfillment service, works so well is because they have so much data, so much information. It is a well-oiled machine about just trying to get the best result for the customer. So again, Really, really good to see here. As you can tell, I'm excited about this. This is really what I want to see, and this is the reason why I'm still so passionate. If you check out my other videos, you'll be able to see that I'm really excited about Shopify. I'm a Shopify customer, I'm a Shopify investor, and this is why. So really appreciate you watching this video. Really would like to know if people are thinking about this as well, what your thoughts on this. Do you think Shopify having this data advantage and this potential machine learning and artificial intelligence advantage is really going to be a big thing in the future? Because I'm really excited about it. So do let me know in the comments. And if you found this at all useful, please do leave a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. And if you subscribe, there'll be more videos like this coming along very soon in the future. So thanks again, and I'll speak to you very soon.